See, a day before I was in the hospital. Did I text you also? I was in the hospital. So for the birth of my niece, okay, for the birth of my niece, I was in the hospital. So when the mother was admitted to the hospital, they made a file by the patient's name, right? So whenever a new patient is admitted, the hospital makes a file, and in the file they write the patient's name on top, right? You might have observed that. So in the name they wrote the mother's name, okay? Okay. So it will say they wrote the mother's name. Now, once the baby was born, won't they create a new file for the baby also? What do you think? Or will the reports and the investigations and the prescriptions of the baby also go in the mother's file? Will that happen?
I think they'll create a new file.
They'll create a new file because the patient will be looked by a gynecologist, okay, and the baby will be looked after by a pediatrician, correct? The two different doctors will come and visit them. So when they write the name of that baby who is just born an hour ago, what name should they write over here? What does the protocol which all the top hospitals follow? What do you think should be the name on the hospital? So if I'll give you some options, okay? You try to figure out which option is a good one. The file. Assume this is the file. So one option is they put a dash over here, that we don't know what is the baby's name. Would that be accepted? Okay, one thing is they put unknown. Would that be accepted by the parents? Or the third thing is they write over there, baby of Aisha. Which one do you think should be appropriate in this case?
I think it's the last one.
Yeah, this is the protocol which all the hospitals follow. Whenever a child is born, the file, because the child doesn't have a name yet, so they write like this, okay? So this is scenario 1. This is first scenario, okay? And try to understand this. Okay, second scenario is this baby was going to be born, the parents were aware of it, right? 9 months prior. So they might have thought for a name, that if it is a girl we'll name so and so, and if it is a boy we'll name so and so, okay? Okay, so if they have thought of it, so if it is a girl we'll name her Fatima, and if it is a boy we'll name him Ali, okay? This is what they had thought. So now when the file is created, the father walks up to the reception and tells that on this file, so if the surname over here is Sheikh or Khan, okay? So what does the father tell the receptionist? That on this file please write, if it is a boy, if it is a yes, no, maybe.
If it is a boy.
Boy, yeah. So he's named him. So they have thought of a name already. So he says, don't write baby of Aisha, write Ali over there because we already named it. Yes, no, maybe.
So wait, so you're asking if should he do that?
Yeah. So if he goes to the reception and tells them, don't write baby of Aisha, write the name which we already kept. We already decided.
Acha, okay.
So now what name will come on the file?
Ali Khan.
Correct? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, third scenario. Neither did they think of any name. Okay, But in the ward in which Aisha was admitted, there was one more delivery, and there was that lady also delivered a boy. So when Aisha's husband inquired about the name, so they told that we have named him, give any Hussein. What have we named him?
Cute.
Right? So he tells, okay, such a good name, even I'll name my son Hussein. So did he have this name in mind earlier?
No.
So he copied it from somewhere, right?
Yes.
So that kid which was born to the neighboring mother, from there he got inspiration and he copied the name from there. So already there was a kid by Hussein. Already there was a kid at, let's say, bed number 301. There was a kid by the name Hussein Sheikh. So the father at 302 copied the name from there and named his son also Hussein. Correct? Are these three scenarios
Yes.
understood properly? Tell me.
Oh, such scenarios are understood. I'm just wondering how they're
Yeah. So
related.
no, yeah, we'll relate this with constructors. So is the difference between the three scenarios understood? That is my main concern.
Yes, sir.
What is the first scenario?
The name has not been given to the baby.
Yeah, neither have the parents thought of any name, so they'll go by the standard protocol followed by hospitals. This is
The
the
hospital.
default name given to any newborn by reputed hospitals. Correct? I'm not talking about local
Yes.
hospital. Local hospital might do anything. Okay? That depends on the nurse, how trained she is. But the reputed hospital, they have a trained staff. So this is the training given to them, that whenever a kid is born, write baby off. Okay. Next scenario was what? They didn't want baby
Next
off.
was that.
Yeah.
Next was that they had decided the name beforehand.
Yeah. So then they, on the file, the name which they had decided will go, right?
Yes.
And third scenario was,
They decide the name on the spot.
so they didn't have a name in mind, but when they saw that there's a kid who's born and he has a name which they like, so they copied the name from them. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now we'll implement them in. Okay. So if in your programming sense, okay, this is non-parameterized constructor for you. Okay. This is parameterized constructor and this is copy constructor. Okay. And you also have a fourth one that is called as default. That is called as what? Default. Java will make for you. Default will do what? Java will create automatically. Okay. Just Java will make automatically for you. We don't have to create anything. We don't write a code for default constructor. As per your textbook, the one which is default, we as programmers don't write code for that. Java gives you that constructor automatically. Okay, am I understood? So when Java gives that constructor automatically to you, Java will make all the int variables as 0, all the float variables or double variables as 0.0 point 0. Okay, and all the string types it will make as empty string, make as what? And all the boolean it will make as false. This is Java's default initialization. This is what Java's. Yes, ma'am, you there?
Yes, sir.
So this is how Java, the default constructor in Java works. So whenever Java comes any integer type of variable, it is initialized to 0. Any float double type of variable, it is initialized to 0.0. Any string initialized to empty string, and any boolean initialized to false. Understood? So if you don't want to use this initializations, then we can initialize with our values also. So let's start. Let's start. Okay, do you see my notepad plus plus? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now let's say I make a class baby. Okay, okay, and now we will give this baby a name. We'll give this baby a name. Okay, yes ma'am.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll display this baby name also. Public void display baby name. Okay, and what will we display? We display system dot out dot println name. Okay, so far so good. Understood this? Any
Yes,
confusion
sir.
in this? Nothing, right? Okay, so now what happens is, if now I'll make a class which I will have the main. Okay, so class baby main. Okay, class hospital. Let's make it class hospital, and that will have main. Okay, so far so good. Now if I make an object of this baby, baby b1 is new baby. Now the default constructor, so we have 4 types of constructors as per your textbook, right? How many of constructors we have as per your textbook? Yes ma'am.
Just a second, sir.
Is they on the board? Is they on the board? How many? First is,
4 types.
first is,
No, sorry.
yeah, 4 types. First is
We
which
have.
constructor?
Hmm.
Yeah, first constructor is a what type?
First is just
Hmm?
default.
Default. Second is,
Default.
second is,
Non-parameterized.
third is,
Parameterized.
and fourth is
Copy.
copy. Okay, so this
Can I?
we code these 3. Okay, we code for these 3. We don't code for the default one. Default one Java gives it to you. Okay, complementary from Java it is. We don't code for the default one. I just color code them. So this we do not code. Java gives in the package. Okay, given by Java. And then this programmers have to code. This we have to code. To code. Okay, so if I use the default constructor, I don't have to write any constructor. The default constructor will give the name as empty. Will give the name as what? You there?
Empty.
Yeah, so we'll give the so if you want to display
But why
that,
will we give it as empty?
huh? So now if I
Why
call,
empty?
yeah, that's the Java's way of giving. So Java's way of initializing. Constructor's job is to give initial value to the variables, class variables. So whatever is there in a class, so if a class has class student, let's say, so class student has attributes roll number, let's say string name and float percentage. If these are the attributes of the class student, okay, if these are attributes, these are attributes of the class student, so whenever object of this class is created, it should have some values, right? Roll number, name and percentage. So if you use a default constructor given by Java, so Java, this is an int type of variable, this value will be 0. This is a string type of variable, this value will be empty string. and this is float type of variable, this value by default will be 0.0. Getting? So this is the job of the constructor, to give initial value to the data members. So here, how many data members do we have in this class? We have only one, right? Yes,
We have
only one. That's
yes,
string name.
sir.
So what will be the default name of this? Empty. Okay. So if I display your baby name is, it will not give me any name after is, it will be a blank. After is, it will be a blank. Okay, I'll remove this also for you. So after is, it will be a blank, because Java's default way of naming a string is empty. Okay, are you getting this? So we haven't used any constructor as of now, because constructor is a function whose name is same as the class name. So do you see any function over here whose name is same as the class name and prefix with public? Do you have any function like this over here as of now? Yes, ma'am. Yes. Do we have any constructor right now? Say I'm deleting it. Okay. So is there any constructor? This is supposed to be a constructor, a function with the same name of that of the class with a public keyword prefixed. So now I'm removing this. So do you see any constructor in this class baby? Yes, no, maybe.
Uh, yes.
Where is the constructor? Constructor means
No,
a
it
function.
has to have the
Constructor is
it
a
has to have.
function whose name is same as the class name, prefixed with the public keyword. So this, now
Public,
line
yeah.
number
So
4 to 7 is the constructor. Now if I remove it, now do you see any constructor?
no.
No. So Java will give you a constructor from its, Java will give you a constructor. Java will give you a constructor now. Java will gift you a constructor rather. Okay. And that constructor will initialize all the int type of data to 0, all the float to 0.0, and all the string to double quote, empty double quotes. Are you getting the point? So by default, this name will be initialized to what?
So I can understand. What do you mean?
By default, the name will be initialized to empty string.
I didn't understand what you mean. So the double, yeah.
I had written them over here. I don't know where you were written. The default constructor will initialize all the int type of variables
So
to 0, all the float or double to 0.0, all the strings to an empty string, and all the booleans to a false. So here, which type of data do we have here in this class?
over here, we have string.
We have only a string type. Only we have a single data, right? In the class data
Yeah.
member. See, this is called as data member, and the functions are called as methods. Are called as what?
Methods.
So how many data member do we have? How many methods do we have in the class right now?
Right now,
We have one data member
yeah.
and we have one
Yes.
method, correct? So
Yes.
constructors job is to initialize the data member. What is the constructor's job?
Initialize the data method.
Is to give initial value. You know what initial value? So you join a company, they ask you for your initial salary, and then after 5-6 years the salary is on incrementing, correct? But the salary at which you joined was your initial salary, correct?
Correct.
So initial value will be given by the constructor. So now do we have any constructor right now in the class baby?
No.
No, because constructor is a function whose name is same as the class name, prefixed with the public keyword. So public, and this class constructor would look something like this, and it's a function. So Got it? So this is a
Yes.
constructor. So do we have anything of such nature in the class right now?
No.
No. So Java will gift you a constructor from its own end that is called as default constructor. The constructor given by Java. Constructor given by
Okay.
Java. Constructor gifted to programmer by Java is called as default constructor. It's called as what?
Default constructor.
So that constructor will initialize, it will look for the type of data. So if the type of data is integer, that default constructor will initialize to 0. If that type of data is float, the default constructor will initialize to 0.0. For float and double is same. For string, it initializes to an empty string. String will be given what values initially?
Empty string.
Empty string. So what value will come for this name now? Empty string. So when you created the object over here for B1, B1 will have a name because attributes, the objects have properties of the class. So B1 is the object of which class?
It's an object of class hospital.
Which class?
Hospital.
B1 is the object of class hospital.
Wait, no, sorry. Baby.
Come on, man, come on. This
Sorry,
is
sir,
the first. This was done in the first session. This needs a serious escalation, ma'am. This won't happen without me talking to your mom. This is a very critical problem. So this is the baby class, and this is the attribute in that class, which is string name. Okay, so this is the blueprint. So the blueprint for the baby is that whenever an object of baby will be made, they all will have a string name. So now I make object as B1. What do I make object as? Baby. B1 is new baby. So now baby B1 is the object of the baby class. So objects have the same content which is there in the class. So the red part is the object. I can make one more object. I can write one more. I can also say baby B2 is new baby. So now this also is an object. So here is one more object, and this will also have a name, and this will also have a name. Now what will be the values to these names is the question. What will be the values to this name? So if we use default constructor will initialize them to empty. Will initialize them to empty because we are using Java's constructor. We are not using our constructor. So Java's constructor, default constructor, if it sees an integer type of variable, it gives it 0. For float, it gives 0.0. Same for double. Double also becomes 0.0. For string, it becomes empty. And for boolean, it becomes default value becomes false. Okay. So this is what Java does. So this now name is of what type? String. So what default name will Java give to that string?
Empty.
Okay. So what is what is the name of the object B1? What is the value for name for object B1?
Empty strings.
What is the value for name for object B2?
Empty strings.
Yeah. So that's what I've done over here. So this is the class baby. It has one attribute called name and one function called as display baby name. So now when I made an object of baby B1 over here, baby B1, what is B1's name now? empty. So using B1, when I call the function display baby name, what will it display? Your baby name is and a blank one, correct?
Yes.
And how will you save this program as? You will save the program with the class name which contains main. Which class contains main over here, baby or hospital?
Hospital.
So this will be copied and the program will be saved by the hospital.java. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I'll save this as
Sir, what
hospital.java.
I was thinking is
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow onwards,
Mm-hmm.
since we've completed most of the portion,
Mm-hmm.
let's just start practicing a lot.
Yeah, so you need to practice and then come up with doubts, right? That's the first question I asked in the morning. That's the very first question. What did you practice and what difficulty are you facing? When you aren't practicing, then what do you think?
So I practice like
Doesn't
maybe
look
a
like you don't
program
know
or
what's
two.
a class and object. See over here. Okay, it's given null. The string is given null, not empty. What is it given over
I
here?
can't see your
One
screen.
second, hang on. Is given what?
It's given null.
Null. Yeah. So let's correct ourselves. It's not. String is not given empty. String is an object. So objects are given null values. Okay. So yes, we did it
Alright.
practically. So they are given null values. So but you don't want null. You don't want null. You want to give a default name. That if I create 10 objects, those 10 objects should have the name Hafsa. That is my default name. So if I create B1, B1 name also will be Hafsa. Like baby of, like the which one? Okay, let's follow that same routine only. Let's give baby of. So you will give name as baby of mother name. What is the, so this you will program now. So what name should the hospital give her? Don't give null. Null is sounding so rude, right? No parent would accept it. So you don't want this. You want to give the default name as what? Baby of mother name, correct?
Yes.
So for that we can use non-parameterized constructor. So for that we can use what? So a constructor is a function. A constructor is a function whose name is same as the class name, correct? And this is the constructor. This is the constructor. Okay. So now the brackets are empty or filled.
They're empty.
Brackets are empty means it's a non-parameterized constructor. Means what? It's a which constructor?
Non-parameterized.
Non-parameterized. Okay. So now this constructor, instead of giving name as null, will give you a default name. So we will give the mother's. So we'll give what name? Baby of and what? Mothers. Make sense? So this name will come on all. This name will come on all the files of the child. So if we have 3 deliveries, baby B1, baby B2, baby B3. What should be the name of baby B1, B2, B3? If I call the display function using all the 3 objects, yes, tell me.
The name will be mother of,
baby of mother name. Baby of
mothers.
So what you the will be see your baby name is baby of mother's name, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because so whatever name the mother has, baby of that mother's name. Okay. So now this, it will not come null, it will come this for all, like the hospital has baby of. So now when I save this and try to run this program over here, can you see the screen? You see?
Yes, sir.
Your baby name is baby of mother's name, baby of mother's name, baby of. This is looking much better than null, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so this is your non-parameterized constructor. This is your second box, okay? Now the third box, when the parents had already thought of a name, correct?
Yes.
So we will have a parameterized constructor, means the bracket will not be empty now. The bracket will not be empty. The bracket will be of type string. So just copy this. Just copy this attribute and put in the bracket. Put in the bracket. Okay. And this name will now go in this name. This on the RHS is from here, and the LHS is from the class. And the class one is represented as this, as what?
This.
Yeah. So the class on the LHS is for the class, right? Oh, see over here, this. So for the class we write this, and this name over here is for the constructor. So on the RHS is the constructor variable, on the LHS is the class variable. Okay. And how do you differentiate between them? Which is constructor and which is class? So on the RHS is the constructor name, on the LHS is the class name. So how do you differentiate between the class and the constructor name?
We'll put this before the
Class,
name that's on the left.
between the class one. Yeah, that's this. Okay. Now when you create the object, so B1 was created, the parents didn't think of any name, so we will say B1 of mother name. B2 was created, the parent thought of a name. Okay. And B3 was created, the parent thought of a name. Okay. Correct. So now
Yes.
when baby B1 was born, the parents didn't think of any name. So what name will the hospital give it?
Null.
Baby of mother's name. Why null, Baba? Why would you write null when you have the constructor over here? So we'll give what? Baby of
mother's name.
Because while creating this object, this is your default constructor, right or wrong? Are there any?
Wait.
This baby is a default constructor, right? Are there any values passed in this bracket?
No.
Line number 27.
No.
So we'll go to that constructor which has nothing passed. We'll go to this constructor. Doesn't that look identical? Doesn't line number 7 and line number 27 look identical? Baby brackets empty, baby brackets empty. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So it will go and check which constructor it is using to make B1. So to make B1 it is using the default constructor. Okay. So it will give this name, this initial value to the name. So when I call the display baby name using B1, what will be the output? Your baby name is?
Your baby name is mother's name.
Baby of mother's name. Okay. Now when I make the second object B2,
yes, sir.
So now when you make the second object B1, baby B2, now when you make the second object baby B2, now while making that, is the brackets empty?
No.
No. So what does the bracket contain? Which type of value? Integer, double, string, boolean?
String.
We'll go to that constructor which has a string type. This one, correct?
Right.
So here the brackets were empty. We'll go to that constructor which has bracket empty. Here, what does the bracket contain? Which type of value?
String type of value.
So we'll go to that constructor which has string type of value. We'll go to this constructor. Okay, automatically it will be synced up. This automatically syncs up. Okay. So now this name which you have passed, Rahul, goes into which variable? This name, correct? And now this name goes into this name. So I am stored it over here. Okay. So now what is the name of baby B2?
The name of B2 is Rahul.
So what will when I call B2.display, when I call B2.display baby name, what should come? Your baby name is
Rahul.
Yeah. And now when I make the third baby B3, what am I passing to the when I make this object, this bracket, what type of value is this?
String.
So we'll go to the constructor which has string type value, correct? And this
Yes.
Ali will come into this name. Ali will first come over here, and from here it will go over here. Okay, because I'm using this over here. So now when I call b3 dot display baby name, what should be the answer?
It should be your baby name is Ali.
Correct. So now when I run this code, do you see the screen?
Yes.
I compile and I run. Got it?
Yes.
Understood? Non-parameterized?
Yes.
Yeah. Now let's do the last one and finish this off. And that is copy. Okay. So I made one more object, baby b4, and baby b4 wanted to copy from baby b3. Okay. The parent of b4 liked the name very much of baby b3. So who is he copying from? b4.
B3.
So I'll pass that object as an argument. Pass an object as an argument. Okay. So here,
Okay.
what was the type of the argument which I passed? There was no argument. So this went to default constructor. Correct.
Yes.
Here, what was the type of the argument which I passed?
String.
This went to the constructor which had type string. Okay, went over here. Correct. Now here, what am I passing as argument? B3. B3 is of what type?
B3
is a baby type. See, this is the type, right? So how we write int a? How we write int a? So a is of what type?
integer.
How we write float b? B is of what type?
It's a float type.
Float, right? So similarly, b3 is of what type? Baby type. So I need a constructor which will take baby type of argument also. That is called as copy constructor. So I will say baby, the capital B, and let's take temp. And then what will we do? This temp dot name will go into this dot name. So now see, b3 is of what type?
Baby.
We'll go to a constructor which takes baby type as an argument. We'll go to this constructor, okay? And this b3 will go where in? Temp. So what is temp's name?
Temp's
b3 is temp, right? b3 goes into temp. b3 has gone into temp. So what is b3's name?
B3's name is Ali.
So and temp name also will be Ali, because b3 and temp are one and the same. But I'm passing b3, I'm holding it. Okay, you can give b3 over here also if you want to. You don't want to confuse. Okay, got it now?
Yes, sir.
So what am I doing? b3's name will be this is name. So this will object for b4. You got this?
Right.
So this is your copying. This is what you're copying. So if I display the name of b4, what should it be?
Ali.
Yeah. Got it? This is your copy constructor. Now I save this and I go to the code and we run it. ये कहाँ से आया? यहाँ से आया. Okay, you see the black screen? Yes, ma'am.
I can't see your screen.
The console is not visible. Now
Yes.
Now I've compiled the code. I'll clear the screen so that you can see clearly. And now we'll run this code and you will see the difference. Got it?
Yes.
This is copy constructor. All 4 constructors done.
Alright.
Okay. Any doubt?
program let's not take the programs from the box.
See, in your exam